Oh, football season of the World Series ended in just dramatic fashion. Incredible series. Unfortunately, we won't be able to talk about that today, not on this show, but you can go check me out on the fan, 103998.3 at 1 o'clock. We do a show over there as well. And if you miss any of our show, don't worry about it. Just do the technology thing. Apis.comus, all that good stuff. Go to where you get your podcasts and you can get us. So you get us anywhere, anytime, the way that you want it. You get it down and dirty, the way you want it. Big weekend here locally in so many ways. And there's so much about this to discuss. Tons of stuff. So we're gonna be a little short today. The Utah women's basketball team is preempting us at 10:40, so we kind of got to get after it here with the time that we have. Starting the show off, though, we're gonna do a recap of Saturday's Utah Cincinnati game, and it's a little unfortunate I think from a national perspective that Utah plays so late at night. I'm calling the game and I'm sitting there like, okay, now it's like about 1:30 in the morning on the East Coast. And who really I know there's some diehard fans who stay up and watch and all that stuff, and rightfully so, but a majority of people aren't witnessing some of the really great football that Utah's been playing. And the score, I don't even know if the score was completely indicative of how big a game this was for Utah. Cincinnati's a good football team. They quarterback's good. They've got some players. They play hard. They're well coached, but they were outmatched. Utah was clearly the better team, and Utah's one of the better teams in the country and the conference. And it's just a crazy thing about where these teams their schedules. So much of winning in the Big 12 is about getting the right schedule and the right teams, and it'll be crazy. I mean, there's some crazy things that are going to happen as this season unwinds. A huge game this weekend. 9 and 8 in the country are playing each other in the top 10. That's right, two teams from the Big 12 in the top 10. BYU, of course, is at Texas Tech, but we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive here into this Utah game and uh, talk a little bit because there's some fascinating things that happened in the game, and there were some fascinating things that I don't know if this was a stumbled onto situation or if this was a situation by design. Either way, it's there, and we're maybe at the genesis of it. I'm going to get into that with the whole quarterback situation, right? So Bert Ficklin 2 weeks ago just lights out against Colorado. Whole team was lights out, quite frankly. And then Devin Dampier comes back and kind of seeing the same thing, and you saw a lot of it. But the number one thing I think that just really jumped out at me about this game was uh, it was it was the defense of Utah. Now they started out the game, and Cincinnati was actually running the ball, and they just Utah wasn't handling some of their assignments on running the football, and it was the zone read, very simple play. You just hand it off. The offensive linemen there's a side of the ball, right or left, and the linemen basically take a step and they just find the guy in front of them. Really simple. So it's in your zone, you block him, and then the running back he just follows the line, and he has like two places he can go, and so he goes to the backside, and Utah's getting killed by it. This is a very simple play, not hard to defend if you do things the right way. And then, of course, the option. Those two plays were just really hurting Utah in the game. And I'm like, really? This is a team that's pretty good against the run. And then Utah finally stopped the run. Like, they just figured it out. It just took them a minute. And I don't know if guys were over pursuing. Of course, if you watch the game on television, you saw the quarterback, Sorsby, he goes around the left side, and there's three defenders that chase him, and he just gives a little nod to the outside and tucks it up inside and goes untouched into the end zone where there's three defenders from Utah not in the right position. and you're kind of scratching your head at this point, going, "Okay, like Cincinnati's not some magical team here." Doing stuff, and I don't know, I don't know what the problem was. I know the result of the problem, and that was that the guys were out of position. So if it was if they made an adjustment or if guys just calmed down and played because it was just such an electric atmosphere. Oh my goodness, it's just so amazing. Those blackout games at night, and it's just such a great environment. The painted um, helmets. And as I'm talking about this, I have to digress for just a minute. So my two youngest kids are at the game. My son-in-law is there with my daughter and my son and his girlfriend. So the four of them are at the game Saturday, and they're having a great time. They love Utah football, and they live and die by all of it. And all of a sudden, my daughter sends me a picture and says, "Yeah, Dad, we're having an amazing time." And my son and my son-in-law are with the muss on the east side at the top of the stadium with their shirts off. And I'm just rolling my eyeballs, shaking my head, going, I can't. Who raised these children? And so they got into the um, taking your shirt off movement that is going on in college sports right now. They got a lot of attention on on the television. Later, I said I asked my daughter. I said, "Nana, you didn't take your shirt off, right?" And my son's girlfriend, they're like, "No, no, no." I go, "Because if you guys would have, you would have been instantly famous. That thing would have gone all over the world. So I'm glad that that didn't happen." But um, I'm not sure how I feel about that because I really like the excitement and the enthusiasm and it's great atmosphere and the student section was having a ball, like they were having a fun time. And so, I'm gonna just go, okay, they had a great time and I'm not gonna overreact to this. And anyways, I thought it was kind of funny, but because I'm watching the game, I'm looking over, I can see, you know, I don't know, maybe 1,000 young men in the freezing night with their shirts off and they're just having a good time. And my son was one of them, so I don't know what to think about it. Anyways, back to the game. So great atmosphere, great energy, great excitement, and the defense. And so they figured the run out, but this is the part that I love the most about Saturday was Morgan Scally just said, "Here is who we are." It's like he drew a line in the sand and he just said, "I dare you to cross this line." He went single safety in the middle of the field, man coverage, and they put pressure on the quarterback. And this is a quarterback, probably the best one in the conference. Sam Levitt's really good. He's injured, but the Sorsby is the he's good. He's a tall kid. He's stout. Can throw the football. The football, gets out very accurate, and he goes 11 for 33. Now that's 33%, and I did that math all by myself just now. Uh, it's really 30. It's 33%. That's not good. And he did Morgan didn't disguise a lot of things. There were a few times they changed things up a bit, but they got after this quarterback. And the fascinating thing to me, like and really good quarterbacks, just so you know, when you don't disguise things typically, they eventually they figure it out, and they're going to hurt you eventually. And he couldn't, and they didn't, and it was to me one of the more impressive things. And I was thinking about this when I was leaving the game, and I was just like, Morgan just dialed up man coverage, press man coverage, 5-man pressures, and they didn't sack him. They almost got to him once. They might have got it. They might have gotten a sack or in one time, and he was getting rid of the ball quickly, but they were hitting him. They it's a fascinating thing where they didn't get to him, but they got to him. Like they got in his head, and he was throwing the ball quickly, quicker than he needed to, and the whole pressure of the moment was bigger than he could handle. And it was just such a masterful, like a very kind of courageous and even a gutsy way of doing it. A lot of times Morgan will, he'll disguise a lot of things and they'll show different things. He didn't just lined up. He says, "We're just going to play football, and this is who we are. You try to beat us." And one of the best parts about this whole Utah team has all year has been that secondary. Time and time again, you've seen plays from Smith Snowden and from Scooby Davis and from Blake Cotton, and Teo Johnson. You've seen, and Connors, and some guys that are good young. It's hard. It's a hard place to get, and of course, Jackson Benny. Benny's been in there, making all kinds of plays this year, and Jackson Benny might be having the best year of all of them. And it's one of those not very talked about things about this Utah football team. It was a question mark going into the year, and it's a strength on this football team. Now there was the one throw up the sideline, and you have to realize this. It's like a percentages thing, and if you win most of the time, you win, and that's what Utah's been doing. There's been a player here and a big play, and a lot of times because you play press man coverage, when the play is big, it's big, and that was a good example of that. But for the most part, just absolutely dominant. And then the other side of it, I don't know how they do this. And as a quarterback, it would drive me bananas, right? I think part of it though, that's difficult is the depth of quarterbacks in the shotgun, right? So it's everyone's in the shotgun. And and so when you're throwing a quick pass, it's a catch it, find it, and throw it. There's no drop, right? You can't drop because you'd be late. And in the good old days when you were underneath the center, you didn't get as far away from the line of scrimmage. And so you don't have there's more space and there's more time for guys to react. You're a defensive lineman and you can see it all in front of me. And for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out why are they so freaking good at knocking down passes. They had the Utah had nine pass breakups in the game, and not all of them were the defensive backs. And I'm not diminishing what they were doing, but it's a knack, it's a talent. I know they teach it and coach it, but it's part of one of the drawbacks when you're in the shotgun throwing a quick pass. The angles are actually favor defensive line because you're not throwing it far down the field. Now, if you're closer to the line of scrimmage, like you're underneath the center and you're throwing quick passes, the ball can get out and pass the defensive lineman before they can react to it. When there's more space in the shotgun, it's a little bit more difficult. And again, I'm not disparaging the offensive line either, but a phenomenal job by the secondary. And it was one of those things that just, I mean, literally jumped jumped off the plate to me. It was just like, wow, that is something else. Now here's another one. And I'm driving home, after the game, thinking about this game and what happened. And I've been pretty vocal about, hey, you know, I'm playing Bert Ficklin because the chances of you getting to the conference championship are slim. They have improved, by the way. They improved because Utah won, improved because Houston lost, and there's some fun scenarios going on with Utah making the conference championship, but also getting into the playoffs, which is something I want to talk about in a bit too, as well. But I want to go to this quarterback situation. Devin Dampier, he's not 100%. You can see that. He's not he ran very well. He got some huge first downs. Converting third downs to me was the name of the game for Utah. Third and fourth down, Utah was pretty good in the game, and that was a big part of why the score was what it was. But I've always and so I've been this fan of Bird Ficklin just because of his ability to throw the football. We can talk about the interception with Dampier, and there's just some times and you can see it is is when he's got it in his mind he's got to throw the football, and there's nothing you can do, nothing that's going to change your mind. But when he gets that determined look, there's just a certain look, there's a certain way, he's throwing the football, and it's not a good thing. It's kind of one of those quirks that I've noticed with Devin Dampier, and it's resulted in interceptions. The one play to Daniel Bray in the BYU game. Every interception he's thrown this year, most of them have been when he's just predetermined in his head he's going to throw the football. He's got weeks to throw it in the pocket, and they've all typically come in those situations. And most of them have come like this was second down. You're in the red zone, second down. You just have to know when to throw the football away. Now, when you're a guy who has a hard time seeing the field because you're shorter, it's harder to know, is it time to throw the football away or not? Because I'm not really sure if I'm seeing the right things. And so it's just a little bit challenging sometimes when you get in those situations. That aside, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's just once in a while. But usually when Devin Dampier throws an interception, it's because he has predetermined in his mind, and we all do it, right? We're not we've determined what we're going to do well in advance of what is happening, and we stop looking and reading the field and reading the room, whatever, and we're just hell bent on this is what I'm going to do. And I've been there. Well, we've all been there, and I'm not. It's not a knock. It's just I'm just telling you what's happening. But Utah has stumbled onto really bucking a trend that I think is as old as time. And that is when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. And that's not the case with Utah. And, and this offense has been trying to find playmakers. And they go, wait a minute, we have two quarterbacks that are playmakers, and they're playmakers doing things, not necessarily dropping back and throwing. They're guys that are on the edge that can run. You saw that where Devin Dampier, he lines up in a wide receiver, he comes in motion, they run like they're going to run a fly sweep, and he throws the ball to Ryan Davis. Imagine having both of your quarterbacks in the game lining up in different positions and all of the creative things you could do because they can run it, they can throw it. There's tons of stuff that can evolve from, putting both of your guys on the field. Now, I know and they've had
Aaron from
packages
RGS Exteriors Online.
for Bird Ficklin, and but this is something now that he's played and he's got more comfortability with things, they can expand on. So you have Dampier, you have Ficklin, you have Bray, you have Ryan Davis, you have Buchanan, you have Bentley, you have Greed Whittemore all of a sudden, Larry Simmons all of a sudden. Now you've become really explosive and dynamic. And by the way, Wayshawn Parker decided that he's back number one for Utah. So this is just an amazing thing that has evolved with Utah. And I never in my wildest dreams thought I would ever say that. But having you two quarterbacks at the University of Utah means they might have three. It's not a dilemma. It doesn't have to be a dilemma. It doesn't have to be any drama. It could be the foundation of some new and innovative and exciting offense that could happen here with the Utes. So very, very exciting time. Now, speaking of exciting stuff, by the way, oh man, do we have exciting stuff for you? We have none other than Aaron from RGS Exteriors joining us on the program right now. Welcome to the show, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Scott. How are you?
Oh man, I'm living the dream, and it's not a nightmare. So I'm feeling pretty good. Other than I don't know if you heard earlier in the say, I don't know if you're a football fan at all or not, or a Ute fan or BYU fan. Um, but Utah did play Saturday. It was a really good game, and some of the student section got a little crazy, and the guys took their shirts off, and my son ended up being one of those people who was took his shirt off. It was I don't know how to think about it as a parent, but I guess he got enthusiastic. He was getting into the game, and so there you have it.
It's a proud dad
Anyway,
moment as a fan.
what's that?
It's a proud dad moment as a fan.
I guess. So RGS Exteriors, you guys are amazing, and you've been around in Utah. You're the longest standing home exterior company in all of Utah. So you're kind of in the neighborhoods with people. You've been among the people. Why is that so important that you guys have been around, and what's kept you around for so long?
Yeah, we've been around here 5 generations. Why that's so important, especially in the construction industry, is there's a lot of turnover. A lot of new companies pop up. They come, they go. You get a project started, they go out of business before it finishes, or down the road, if you ever have any issues, they're not around to take care of it. So the longevity means we've been doing things right. We've been doing things right for a long time. And so we're going to be here and be around to be able to take care of you. And then if, for instance, if you do have a problem come up, we're still going to be here to take care of you down the road.
And you have this incredible warranty on your products. It's you offer a 10-year warranty for folks, so they know not only are you going to be around, but like you said, you are going to take care of people. If for whatever there is is a reason that you need to, fix or something you've done, but you guys have incredible products, and so it's the likelihood of something happening is not really high. Talk a little bit about the products you offer because originally it was just gutters, but now you guys are into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, we do a 10-year warranty on anything we install, but we want to make sure whatever product we put on your house is going to be covered and warranted much longer than that. So, when it comes to siding, we really love and specialize in James Hardy siding. It's going to have a 30-year warranty that covers the products. We know that we're putting a product on your home that's going to hold up and last. When we're looking at windows, we do Infinity by Marvin windows. Those are going to come with a lifetime warranty, so we know that they're going to get you taken care of for the long haul. And then, decking on the outside, we partner with TimberTech decks. They're going to have, anywhere from a 30 to a 50-year warranty based on the deck board that you go with. So anything we do, we want to know it's a product we can stand behind, and then it's going to take care of you for the lifetime of your home.
Yeah, and in the world we live in today, where interest rates are high, people typically have gotten a really good interest rate, so they're not selling their houses per se. It's one of the biggest investments people have, and you have, and by either replacing or improving the exterior of your home, it can have a significant impact on the value of this investment you have. And it's also something some people can do instead of moving, they can just improve their house.
Yeah, we can get it improved. We can get it looking like the dream home that you want. In the end, saves you a whole lot more money to make the home you have now into the home you want versus going out and buying a new home currently.
Man, I tell people take care of the investment you have. Go to the people who've been around for a long time. They're going to give you the best products on the market. They're going to guarantee the products. They're about building relationships. It's not transactional with you guys. So when people show up, it would make sense to go and check them out and get an estimate, get an idea of what it's going to take. And you guys have some promotions right now going on if someone comes in and wants to have you look at their house and you give them an estimate.
Yeah, so we got a great promotion right now, free Minky blanket for having us come out and take a look at your home. And then, on certain qualifying purchases, we're doing a free Blackstone grill. So we can get out and get you taken care of and I give you a nice little thank you in return.
All right, I love it. So call them up 801-280-3110 or go to rgsexteriors.com or utahgutter.com. So go check them out. These are the guys you want to have take care of your home and take care of your investment. Appreciate your time, Aaron, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
All right, rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110. We'll be right back here. I still doing pretty good on my NFL picks. We're going to talk about that and so much more because I want to get into Utah might not have to go to the conference championship game to get an at-large bid. There could be the possibility of a two-loss Utah in the college football playoffs. We'll talk about that and so much more when the Down and Dirty returns here on ESPN 792 on FM.
Nice job. Let me see. Yes, about 10:40, 10:42. But I'll be in your ear about it real hard, okay? Because the last commercial break is only 2 minutes, so we just need to roll in at 45 with the pregame show for the Utes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll be hard in your ear, okay? You know, like a quarterback yelling at the offensive line, "Come on, get set!" Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
All right, welcome back. Um, I'm Scott Mitchell. This is the Down and Dirty. We're on ESPN 792 on FM. Hey, it's 10:30. a.m. Mountain Time, and I'm just letting you know because maybe you missed the memo. Over the weekend, we had daylight savings, so we fall backwards an hour and spring forward, and I hate it. Pick a freaking time and don't change it. Like, why is this such a problem? I know why it is. It's because places in the southern United States, it would be very dark in the morning if we kept it the way it was. And it's like, fine, it's okay. You will survive. Just pick a time and stay with it. Could we please do that? Thank you very much. Here's something if you want a little down and dirty, which I know you do. I think, and again, this is my opinion, but based off of my observational um, skills, I think Coach Prime already has a deal done with someone else. And I don't think he's going to stay at Colorado. And you see these coaches, whether they have something in the works, and I think it's Florida State. I think it's Florida State. Well, number one, Colorado and Deion Sanders just don't. It's not a match made in heaven. It's always felt awkward to me. It's like, really, Colorado? Like, there's a whole lot of other places I could see you going than Colorado. And Coach Prime, for what it's worth, he will move the needle where you are, and he will jump it off the radar if he's at Florida State. I'm not convinced that Colorado has the resources or has the capability or panache or whatever to really be a big time program. They need someone like what Texas Tech has. They need a sugar daddy. And I don't think they have one. And as much as Prime moves the needle and all that he is, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors at Colorado. They're in bad shape. And I think it's more to do with not him. Like I don't know. I don't know that they have I don't think they have it. And I don't think he's there. Um I think his mind is elsewhere. I think his mind is on Florida State. And you look at Florida State did not fire their coach. And they said, we'll deal with this at the end of the year. And I just, you've seen coaches before where, and a really good example of this was Mario Cristobal when Utah played Oregon in the Pac 12 championship. He was different. The mood, the vibe was different. We talked about it on the air at the time. Said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere else. And sure enough, not 5 minutes after that game was over, Mario Cristobal was headed to Miami. He was out. He was gone. He was done. And it feels that way with Dion at Colorado. And maybe he goes somewhere else. I don't know. But Florida State, because that's his alma mater, and he's from Florida, and Florida fits. Okay. Colorado is just not flashy enough. No matter how hard he tried to change the logos and the color schemes and all the things he did, it ain't. It ain't flashy enough. And it's funny because he's very flashy, but he's also very conservative. It's weird. He's a conservative, flashy person. It's just this dichotomy that's just bizarre. But it is what it is. So there's my thought on that. Here's another thought for you. Well, let me go into this briefly because the NFL was crazy. I was 9-3 this week, so I'm 46-10 on the season. Of course, um, there is a Monday night game still left. I picked Dallas, so if Dallas wins, I'm 47-10 on the season. And I've had some pretty wacky games that have kind of hurt me. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get every game right here soon. I'm gonna get on a hot streak. I can feel it. I can feel these games. I know what's happening. There is one thing that might be happening. Sam Darnold might be legitimate. Uh, he looked really good this week, and and he's got some weapons. He's got some people, but he's not necessarily, a flash in the pan kind of thing. And Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, hmm, and a trend that may be happening in the NFL is the resurgence of throwaway quarterbacks. There you go. There you have it. And it could be a thing, but I'm impressed, big time, with what he's done, and good for him. So there's a scenario. There's several scenarios going on in the Big 12, and the college football playoff will come out. The first poll, I believe, on Wednesday, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And Utah is one of these teams in the mix because the losses Utah have had this season have been to BYU, which is 8, and Texas Tech, which is 9 in the country. And so you don't ever want to have a loss period, but you could argue that this is a team that could be in the top 12. It might be that large bid. Yes, Utah could be the at-large team because look at the teams. Is Texas? Texas is not that good. Okay, they're going to give Texas the benefit of the doubt until the cows come home, but Texas is not that good. Notre Dame, same thing. Sorry, Martin. Oklahoma. These are other 2 lost teams, and then you have these teams like Vanderbilt. You have Georgia Tech. Just by the way, the ACC is garbage. Okay, the AC. Everyone said that the Big 10 or the Big 12 was the garbage conference. No, the garbage conference. And here's a hot take for you. You want to get down and dirty. The Big 12. Why is it any less significant than the Big 10? There are 2 teams in the Big 10. Indiana, shocker, and Ohio State, not a shocker. Where's Michigan? Where's Penn State? Whoa, that's a train wreck. Wisconsin, a disaster. Illinois was supposed to be something. No, there's no other. No, Nebraska, no. And so here you have the Big 12. You have BYU undefeated. Hard for us to say, but they deserve it. They're undefeated, and they've won some tough games, some big games, and they've won them. You have Texas Tech, same thing. Texas Tech is very good, and Utah all of a sudden has figured out that they're actually pretty darn good. Probably the most complete team in the conference. Utah is the team you don't want to play right now. I don't care who you are, and very easily, you could argue that Utah is a team that belongs in the playoffs because ahead of them are teams like Georgia Tech, Louisville, Texas, Notre Dame, Virginia, Vanderbilt, and that's who's ahead of them as far as being in the top 12. I mean, Utah made a massive jump. They were 24 and they went to 17, 6 spots, and probably a lot of people didn't see them. So it's going to be fascinating because I believe, and I'm not 100% accurate on this, but I believe the computers like Utah, and they might have been a little under, I don't know, appreciated, which to me, you look back on this, and this is why it's so hard, and this is why every game matters so much. Texas Tech was a stinging loss for Utah. And they really had shots to win that game, and it got away from them late. But man, and the same thing with the BYU game. Like I mean, you can sit and talk about kicking field goals and all that stuff, and converting situations and whatever. But that's a stinging loss. The game against BYU, and they're close, and really. And really it shouldn't be, but it is what it is, and so you have to deal with it. But So there's the one scenario where Utah could arguably get itself into that 12 spot by the time the season's over. The other option, and it became more real over the weekend, Houston losing helped Utah. Um, and Utah's kind of, could get itself into the conference championship and win itself into the playoffs. Because right now you have to go on an ad campaign, you have to go
1
on a
minute.
smear campaign, you have to, you got to do all this stuff, right? And so hopefully they'll be able to possibly win their way. But boy, could you love Utah BYU in the conference championship game, go to the playoffs and end up playing each other? And that's a real scenario. So this season is going to get so fun right now for the next month. November is going to be one heck of a ride in the Big 12 for all of our local teams here. And can't wait for it. So buckle up and let's go. Well, speaking of letting go, Utah's women basketball is starting here soon. Yes, they got a matinee performance. That means we have to get out. So we're going to. You're going to tune into that next. This has been the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 792.1 FM. Until then, we'll see you then.
Thanks, Scott. I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. All right, later. Bye.